Hi friends, welcome back. So question for you, is Tesla the next Enron? That's the subject of today's video, and let's just jump right in. This is a headline coming out on April 27, 2024. Facebook co-founder accuses Tesla of being the next Enron, and this is Dustin Makovitz here. And essentially what this stems from, there was an article that came out of Bloomberg on April 27, 2024. Tesla self-driving software is a perpetual revenue letdown. It has to do with the deferred revenue and how Tesla is possibly cooking the books. There's a chart that he shows here, and I'll go over exactly what Moskovitz says in a moment here, but I just want to show you kind of what we're talking about here. Is this black line is your deferred revenue, and this is Tesla's projections, right? The blue line, and they're always off. So what is going on here, and what are the claims? Again, this is coming from the Facebook co-founder is claiming this. So it says here, I know I sound crazy to most people who don't follow Tesla closely, but at this point, it really needs to be said. This is Enron now, folks. For those of you who are old enough to know Enron, this was one of the largest scandals in U.S. history. So Tesla would probably be on this scale if we're true. It may keep going, but people are going to jail at the end. The data is presented in fraudulent ways, and it doesn't say what they claim it says, even when they make it up. And again, this is accusing Tesla. Tesla has committed consumer fraud on a massive scale, from lying about FSD, talking about ranges, right? Lying about ranges, and recently unconfirmed, even inflating odometers. Many times now, also securities fraud. So regarding this stuff, actually, we have talked about this stuff on the channel. The way the bulls sort of defend this stuff, they just say, oh, batteries can change ranges and technology is tricky. I'm just saying that's what they say, because the range stuff and the FSD stuff is the range stuff being the Tesla will show you your range will change as you drive your car. And I've actually experienced this for myself. And Elon even told engineering, I remember reading reports about this, that he wanted the ranges to be more aggressive in what it actually is. And the lying about FSD stuff is, they've been promising you this thing for years and it just hasn't come, that kind of stuff. Let's go through more of else we're saying here. The odometer stuff, I'm not sure what he's referring to. I'm sure it has to do with range and stuff like that, would be my guess. And then let's keep going. It says here, and I guess just as a PSA, so public service announcement to investors here, PSA to investors out there, you only get eventual justice with the SEC, meaning that SEC can be slow on this stuff, right? Even if you get that. And someone asked in the channel recently, like, how can Musk just, say this stuff on social media and stuff like that? Is this like funding secure? That's a good example. Or how can they advertise FSD, this kind of stuff as being full self-driving? That's the title of it, not being the case. Yes, they do get sued from time to time, because people say, well, why don't they do anything? But they do get sued from time to time, but they always find ways to either settle or wiggle out of it, this kind of thing. So they're always in some sort of, legal dispute or something like that. If you're a Tesla pumper or Tesla bull, you'll say, oh, the government just hates Elon. That's just kind of how they defend it, basically. This is coming from Moskovitz here. He says, you shouldn't assume being told the truth by any of these public companies, right? So he's saying there's a lot of fraud that goes on. We tell the truth at Asana, but empirically, right, just numbers or provably, that is not true of other companies. And I don't know anymore how to tell which is which, right? It's so hard to tell what is fraud and what's not. He also says here, I haven't even written about this particular kind of fraud yet. There are so many to choose from. Again, we're talking about fraud, but this graph alone says enough. Tesla makes up more revenue straight from their imagination every single quarter than my company does selling actual products in a year. And again, this is the discrepancy between their sort of projections and then their actual deferred revenue. And this is our comments on this stuff like this. People are all talking about it. Elon Musk then replied, so this is just recently, and first Musk says, that the Moskovitz guy is an artard. And then he says here, I'd like to apologize to Dustin Moskovitz for calling him an artard. That was wrong. What I meant to say is that he is a pompous idiot whose head is so far up his own, but that he is legally blind. Okay. I wish him the best and hope someday we can be friends. So that was Musk's response. And this kind of response though isn't great. If someone's accusing your company of fraud and all you can do is just say that you're stupid, that's not a great response, because these are actually pretty serious accusations. I want to go through, and I don't want dictation now. I want to go through kind of my thoughts on this stuff. First, it has to do with deferred revenue. I am not an accountant, although I did take accounting in business school. I'll just give you a gist of it, and sort of I had to brush up myself. So if you charge a customer or a client or whatever for something, but then you don't, and you take the money, but you don't necessarily give them the goods, then you would do a deferred revenue. So that's how you would record in your books, but it isn't necessarily legal per se. There's nothing wrong with accounting if you know you're doing it properly, right? So I wanted to make that so when someone says a deferred revenue, don't just think immediately that there's fraud or something like that. It just depends like if the numbers are matching up. So this is a definition here. It says advance payments a company receives for products or services that are to be delivered. So yet to be delivered, right? Are to be delivered or performed in the future. So you give me payment for something, but I don't give you said something till in the future. And I'm not recording the revenue the day that you give me the payment. I'm recording it when I deliver said product. Now it's interesting, right? Because Tesla is late on their delivery stuff, right? So that's where the discrepancy would come in. There's other parts of deferred revenue which we'll go through as well. That's why I wanted to go over this with you guys. Because again, this stems from this Bloomberg thing, and then they're talking about how there's always a difference between the projections and the actual revenue for Tesla. So essentially they could be cooking the books, as according to the Facebook co-founder. So this says here, deferred revenue is a liability in a company's balance sheet that represents a prepayment, so that's what we talked about, by its customers for goods or services that are yet to be delivered. Deferred revenue is recognized as earned revenue on the income statement as the good or service is delivered to the customer, right? So again, you pay me. Just want to make sure we're on the same page here. And then I deliver you something in the future, and then I'll record it. The use of deferred revenue accounting follows GAAP guidelines for accounting conservatism. If the goods or service is not delivered as planned, the company may owe the money back to its customer. And this is the interesting thing, right? Because talking about Tesla, like for example, actually, this is a good example. We'll talk about it. The Roadster thing, right? So if you go on their vehicle thing here, I'm just showing you guys kind of the stuff that it's all public. This thing is yet to be delivered, right? This is just an example. And if I hit reserve now, and then it says here, this is talking about Tesla, I give them a $5,000 credit card payment and then a $45,000 wire transfer in 10 days. So I'm giving them basically $50,000 free loan. And you know, the way they'll do it in their accounting is they have this money, but then they won't record it until they actually deliver said product. But what if they never deliver said product, and if they have a history of doing something like that? So I was showing you guys how this can get kind of fuzzy, these things. Also, too, I want to show you a couple other things here. This is Moskovitz here, just so in case you don't know, he's 39, and there were 4 people in Facebook. So it was Zuckerberg, Eduardo, McClellan, Chris Hughes, or actually there'd be 5 then, and then Moskovitz. Also, too, regarding the Enron situation, because you're curious, like, why is he comparing it to Enron? So this happened a long time ago. I remember this stuff. It was all over the news, and I remember, like, the hearings. I remember people lost their retirements. People lost a lot of money over this stuff. Basically, we'll read through this here. It says, so this is back in 85. So several years later, when Skilling was hired, Lay developed a staff executives that use accounting loopholes, the misuse of mark-to-mark, special accounting purposes, the poor financial reporting, were able to hide billions of dollars in debt from failed deals and projects. So I think this is kind of interesting when I was thinking about like all the things that Tesla has promised and hasn't delivered, and I wonder if this would be a similar situation, like for example the Semi or the Roadster or what the robot, like are they doing something fuzzy with the books? Chief Financial Officer Andrew Fastow and other executives misled Enron's board of directors. The difference with Tesla and Enron, though, would be Enron's board of the directors is in Musk's pocket, like his brother's on the board and all his personal friends are on the board. And then remember the judgment from Delaware regarding Musk's compensation thing was all about, hey, the board didn't adequately protect investors or do their fiduciary responsibility to act on behalf of shareholders, right? So this here in the Enron situation was they're misleading the board, rather than the Tesla Musk situation, like the board's in Musk's pocket. So it's a little bit different there. And also, I'm just reading through this. An audit committee on high-risk accounting practices and pressured Arthur Andersen to ignore the issues. That would be the accounting firm, and I think they don't even exist anymore, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Also, too, it says shareholders fired a $40 billion lawsuit and eventually partially compensated with $7.2 billion. So that means, if you look at the numbers here, a lot of money just vanished, right? There was a lawsuit for $40 billion, and then they ended up only getting like 7.2. So they didn't recover 30 some billion, which achieved a high. So I guess the stock price. So the stock was $90.75 per share in the mid 2000s, and plummeted to $1 by November 1st. So it just completely crashed. The Security and Exchange Commission began investigation, and rival Houston competitor Dynergy offered to purchase the company at a very low price, so declared bankruptcy. It's interesting because, you guys, I'm just putting pieces together here. The CFO for Tesla, Zach Kirkhorn, he stepped down in August of 2023. And in fact, he's not the only person that's been stepping down at Tesla. Remember, they just had their 10% layoffs, but again, we're having execs step down. And I think they've referred to this guy as like the master of coin, I believe, the Zach. And we also have other executives who were leaving recently. The one, it was the vice president of the investor relations, so that person who on the team or leads the team to put together all the slide deck for the earnings reports, that kind of stuff. And then you had the Drew guy, was it Begley? I don't think his name is, and he's the one who was selling a bunch of his stock as he's leaving. I was kind of reading through stuff on Reddit, and you guys can do that stuff as well. And this is sort of why I'm just presenting it to, and it's just fun to read through this stuff because people have all these crazy comparisons. One person actually mentioned FTX. I was calling the FTX stuff out early. If you guys have been following my channel, you would know that. And regarding sort of my stuff that I've been following is I've been looking at in my channel the promoter stuff for Tesla stock and how they're being paid, etc. That stuff's always really sketchy to me. So there's different angles you could take a look at this thing. Also, just there's so many things you could talk about here with this regarding, like, say, Tesla and Elon Musk. Like, this isn't just my imagination. They said, hey guys, we got a robot, and then they bring out this person in a suit and they had it dancing, which is really bizarre. And I just want to give you and I just want to give you an example. Just like, imagine just another company says, hey everyone, we got this great technology. We'll say like, hey guys, we got this new car. And it ends up being like a Flintstone vehicle where you have, some people pushing it and a person on the legs on the ground kind of running along, like just completely fake. So this stuff that Tesla does, and I brought up the website too because I wanted to remind you when people are saying, oh, Tesla's awesome, they're going to have that low-cost car Model 2 someday. It doesn't appear on the website. There's reports that's possibly canceled, right? And also too, I'll say, okay, so where's their Semi and the Roadster? And do you consider the Cybertruck a success or not? Right? I consider it a failure, in my opinion. We talk about this, and we can debate that. That's fine. But I don't think it's up to debate whether or not the Roadster is here or not. It's not. I can't buy it. I can't buy it. And their production is not. Musk originally promised, 50,000 trucks a year. It's not here. I think he promised 250,000 Cybertrucks a year. I think that's what the promise was. They're clearly not there, and there's no Roadster. Plus the FSD thing, they've been promising that stuff for years. And I'm just showing you guys just on their website, it's just all public. Or like this kind of practice of say, hey, your Model Y is going to be $29,490, which is complete bogus. It's completely bogus, right? You hit on order now, and the price that they're coming up with is that includes like your savings. Wait, did they change their website again? Oh, they changed it again. So normally, and this is live, Corner's live. Normally they'll say that this price includes the gas savings, and then you can click on a different button and it'll show you the real price. Unless I have to like shrink it down. Let's see. I think they just changed their website again. I'm going to shrink their website down. No, they changed their website again. So even live, and okay, if you guys understand, this is not the price of the car. The car is not $29,490. So Tesla actually changed their website as I'm recording this. The price of the car is actually $42,990. It's in the fine print down there. This is the kind of shady stuff. So what it used to do, and you can find my old video on it on this. I covered this recently. The way the website used to work was it would show you there would be a little like thing I could push here. Yeah, and it would show me the price without the gas savings included. then the price with the gas savings. Now the price without, so this is outright really shady. There's no option to show me what the price of the car is. The price of the car is $42,000 because they're including your tax credit and your 5-year gas savings. They're putting in like a fake $6,000. This is I mean, I'm just trying to think, like, would you call this outright fraud right here? And this is recording it live. So, I don't know how you'd want to define fraud, but I'll just say this is definitely misleading. 100% this is misleading. And I didn't even expect this. That's what I was saying. I look at their website all the time, and yeah, they changed their website. I just made the video on that. So I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on this stuff. Again, this is just coming out recently, and is Tesla the next Enron? That's the subject of today's video. So thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you next time.